Cup 2010. Woo! In case you missed it last Friday, my news segment with Lee Mills, she let me blow the vuvuzela during my Channel 15 segment. You can always find those archived on the John Ashworth blog under the Channel 15 news segments. This was the most recent one. I did this one on belly fat and how belly fat puts you at risk for an early death, my friends. And I did the last news desk report on that subject too. So be sure to check for that. It was disappointing to see the U.S. team lose, but still a lot of great soccer left, and I'm looking forward to it. On to the Nomad News Desk report for this week. Again, this is John Ashworth, otherwise known as the Fitness Nomad and the Fitness Pro blogger. I've got today the big secret for you, ladies and gentlemen, the big and lasting secret for body transformation, weight loss success. The truth is, as I've talked about many times before, it really is no secret. It's an energy balance equation. Energy in, energy out. So if you burn more than you take in, you're going to lose weight. The problem and the challenge becomes losing the right kind of weight, because when you lose weight, you lose three things. You lose fat, you lose a little bit of water, and if you're not careful, you lose a lot of muscle tissue, and so you've got to do it the right way. So on the homepage of the Fitness Nomad website, there's a letter where I outline the big secret. It's basically getting the three big things right, and that is strength training on a regular basis, 2 to 3 days a week, eating your 5 to 6 balanced meals every day, and using the inside of this membership site, the great recipes that Sarah and I have created. You can do just that, and it's very easy to build those meal plans that you need. And of course, the third big thing is the cardiovascular exercise, 150 minutes or more per week in your training zone and your target heart rate zone. So today what I have is a little report that the Nutrition Action newsletter, this is primarily a nutrition newsletter that the Center for Science and the Public Interest puts out every month. It is terrific, really, really good. And if you've been paying attention, you know that the Center for Science and Public Interest is suing McDonald's right now for putting those little toys in the Happy Meals. It's just not fair to lure those kids into meals that are very unhealthy. And by the way, some of the funny things that you'll hear, a spokesperson for McDonald's saying that, well, we've come a long way. We now have healthy choices for the kids. A parent can choose milk instead of soda, or now we have apple dippers instead of French fries. Of course, the apple dippers come with caramel sauce, but the nonsense continues. It's up to you to make smart choices. They did a great series in here in December of 2008 called How to Get a Gut. And I think we're all in a little bit of denial about the things that we do on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis that help us build our guts. And in the last report, I talked about the problems associated with that big gut. It's going to kill you, and it's going to kill you early. And before that, it's going to cause heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. And you're going to die long. And that's absolutely no fun. So they have 5 things that they talk about under there. If you want a gut, here's how you do it. I'm going to talk about number 1 today, and I'm going to go through the next 4 in the next 4 news desk reports. But I'll give you all 5 right now. Number 1, how to get a gut. Don't bother to get up. Number 2, keep eating as much as you ate in your 20s. Number 3, bump up your calories per bite. In other words, eating foods like ice cream that have a lot of empty calories in them, more per bite than a carrot or an apple or maybe an orange per se. Number 4, drink your calories. In other words, you really got to be careful with all those wonderful drinks at Starbucks and anywhere else, often loaded with tons and tons of sugar and extra calories that you don't need. And number 5, eat more often. And I would add to that, eat out more often. The more you eat out, the more clients eat out, the more trouble it gets them into. So number 1 today is don't bother to get up. I thought there was some interesting stuff in here. Okay, so one of the really interesting studies that they looked at was one where they took half of the women and they put them in an exercise group. Those women lost about 7% of their body fat. And then another group of women that just did stretching only. And the interesting thing about that is in that stretching only group, the women that were the least overweight to start with were the ones who ended up gaining 7% more intra-abdominal fat. So one of the morals of that story is that even if you don't see dramatic weight loss, exercise reduces overall body fat, and hidden intra-abdominal fat, the most dangerous type. So, you know, I hear it all the time, people complaining about the fact that they haven't lost as much weight as they want to, but their clothes are fitting better and they feel better. Good things are happening. Stick with it, because when you don't do anything, when you just stretch, those women, they're gaining 7% of intra-abdominal body fat per year, and that's dangerous stuff. So the second one has to do with the fact that it's not just walking and running that matters. Scientists assign more than 160 overweight and obese women aged 25 to 44 to do strength training twice per week. You know I'm big on that. Or to receive a brochure recommending aerobic exercise. That's just to even out the group. So which basically means the second group didn't do any exercise. After 2 years, the strength trainers had a 4% drop in total body fat, but a 7% rise in belly fat. Now, why do you think that might be? Well, primarily, I'm betting as a result of the fact that when you do start exercising, you do gain a little weight sometimes because you're hungrier and you eat more. And if you're not eating the right things, you can get yourself into a peck of trouble. Far worse, the brochure group lost virtually no total body fat, and get this, they had a 21% rise in belly fat. Number 3, last point here, most Americans gain 1 to 2 pounds on average every year. It's adding up slowly but surely without even noticing. You're buying a pant size a little bigger for that wedding you have to attend this summer, a bathing suit a size up. Slowly but surely, 10, 15, 20 years later, you're sitting in the chair right behind this camera talking with me, trying to figure out, oh my goodness, what do I do now? 5 to 6 balanced meals a day, 2 to 3 days a week of cycled strength training throughout the year, and good, solid aerobic exercise regularly throughout the week. This is John Ashworth, the Fitness Nomad, from the Nomad News Desk. Enjoy the rest of the World Cup. I'm going to see if I can get my vuvuzela going again. I need a new iPhone. Yes!